Hello everyone and welcome to another global video with me, Berets, who has still not done the stupid, whatever it was, the background. I haven't made a new one yet for global. Maybe I'll finally have time this weekend, if I'm not super busy. But anyway, you guys, we're here to talk about Ignacio, a character that seems to be coming to global very shortly, unless my news is wrong, in which case he's probably out already. Yeah, hard to say. Obviously, when it comes to Ignacio, I'm in a bit of a weird place when it comes to recommending this character. It's not that Ignacio is bad, it's not that Ignacio is great, it's that Ignacio is in a very weird place, and probably weirder on global than he is on... some kind of error-y thing. Anyway, Ignacio is in a very weird spot to be, to say the least. He is a character that I've absolutely loved when he came out. He is so ridiculous in his sprite. He's just this massive character carrying a massive axe with a cool limit burst, and there really isn't much else that needs to be said. I really like his animations, I love his design. I was never a big fan of Fire Veritas because he just seemed like a whatever character. I don't have any big connection to him, so it seemed very easy to pass him on him at the time. However, when Ignacio came out, Ignacio became, well, first of all, he was a great lucky banner for me. I got a whole bunch of them. I got his Super TMR pretty easily. And that is something that does make a character kind of special. I guess you could say that's a connection, even though it's really just luck. But is Ignacio worth your resources? Yes and no. In the same way that I have recommended characters such as Reagan or Nickel at certain times, knowing what their future is a big part of knowing how good a character will be into the future. Now, here's the honest truth when it comes to Ignacio. Ignacio is primarily a chain finisher, and that is a big asterisk on his entire kit. It is essentially about doing damage. Now, while he is a strong damage dealer, 100%, the problem is that shortly after him comes CG Sid, who is a much better chain finisher. Honestly, this character is so... it basically hits the damage cap. He is even scarier into the future on JP. When true dual wield becomes for everyone of a 200% bonus, apparently this guy is just the king of chain finishers. But that is not all, because Ignacio also fills the role of a buffer and support unit, interestingly enough. Ignacio has an ability that can either give the fire element to a single character or a 50% chance to give fire element to the entire party. Elemental Immune is a big thing into the future, as some characters do have elements, some characters don't, and you gotta decide. Ignacio can also debuff the enemy for fire resistance, so he's kind of an all-in-one package with some really nice strong chain finishing to boot, to say the least. Also, he can boost the limit burst for the entire party, so that's really great too. But what also is great about Ignacio is that he can boost attack, defense, magic, and spirit for the party with his forge abilities, and that is really great. Big weakness at the start of this unit's lifespan that was duly noted by some people is the fact that, well, you can only use 3 abilities at the start of battle, and after that you only get double afterwards. So, Ignacio, also I believe his buffs are only 120%. Maybe not a huge deal breaker for some people, but an asterisk for some people. So, do I recommend Ignacio right now? Not really for right now, especially considering how ridiculous global has been getting for damage dealers. it really doesn't feel like Ignacio has any place in that sense. But into the future, Ignacio becomes much more valuable. Why? Well, like I said, some of Ignacio's weaknesses have been removed or changed. First of all, his fire debuff into the future becomes 100%, and considering that he can put fire on the entire party, that's pretty damn strong right there. But it's not only that, one of his abilities now can give him access to triple cast every turn. Basically, yeah, it gives you triple cast every turn, but you have to be using it every turn. So it's kind of like always doing damage. It's like giving you an extra ability to keep triple cast up. Really, not that much of a problem. While his limit burst ability didn't get really any change whatsoever, it was strong to begin with and doesn't really need any changing. It's his forge abilities that just got the best buffs, basically ever. Now, these do cost limit burst as well as MP, and that is a big thing to note. However, his forge abilities got buffed into the JP side to basically have 180% for the stats. Only to mention that, again, the 50% chance to give the fire element to all of your party members, as well as here giving 100% fire resistance for 5 turns, as well as that 180% defense and spirit buff. He's pretty quick to gain limit burst crystals, so you can pretty much, once the fight starts, rely on this guy to be really, really good. He is a combo enabler. He is really good at giving element to the entire party. Obviously 50% doesn't always work, but I guess you could reload or something. Not that I support doing that. Ignacio has some incredibly powerful chaining abilities that fall a little short compared to what is coming into the future with Regina and CG Sid, but really, Ignacio is not just damage. He is actually really good support, and he has been much easier to put into parties since his enhancements. Really, he just enables your party to do certain fights much better by essentially taking in multiple roles and being a damage dealer that also supports the party really, really nicely. That's disappointing. Sorry, looking at something else. But Ignacio is a really, really good character. And again, single rainbow banners are not necessarily the bad thing. I would also recommend, too, supporting these banners because they're not limited time banners. And I have a whole axe to grind about that into the future. Oh, this is so good. Really is just so good. Maybe I'll even tell you about this in another video. But yeah. Ignacio is definitely a character that people don't need to pull right away for. Something else to note is that JP did eventually in the future get a all CG banner where it was basically all CG characters. And if you were to go after any specific CG character, CG Sid is probably the correct, 100% correct answer in this. However, in no way should you knock Ignacio. In no way should you disrespect Ignacio. First of all, he's bigger than you. Second of all, he can easily kick your ass in a fight. 3, he's just a really good character that fits multiple roles and also has a pretty nice axe. He also has incredible equipment selection. He really is great. He'll be on his probably be on his own banner, just like he was for JP, and that makes it easier to get. Keep in mind, I said easier. But yeah, Ignacio, really cool character, great enhancements into the future, really nice support for Axe characters, and I mean, that limit burst, man, it's just so cool. I gotta switch over here to do it. I forget the game locks you out for Yeah, pretty cool. So definitely recommend getting him at some point in time. He's a pretty cool character, he fits multiple roles, and yeah, he's not on a limited time banner. If that's, I mean, you gotta support the non-limiteds, otherwise everything's gonna be limited. I think Global knows a little something about that. Anyway, you guys, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.